Ladies and gentlemen, please take your seats. The show is about to begin.
Aloha, good morning, and welcome to another episode of Photo Chats with Nats. My name is Nathalie, and I'm a professional photographer based here in Johannesburg, South Africa. I have been living here for over 20 years now, but I actually was born and grew up in Germany. So if you listen to me and you think, hey girl, what's up with the accent? That's the reason why. So in today's show, I am actually picking up on a topic that I left off last week in my last episode that I talked about the importance of having fun in photography. And this leads into this week's and today's episode where I want to tell you about my past experience of, a couple of things that happened to me and what I did and the making of my first 100 X-frames. So let's look at what's up today. I want to give you a bit of a backstory into what happened and how I experienced my journey. Then I'm going to tell you how I ended up in a bit of a creative slump. And then what I did to reignite my passion. Also, then I'll look at, what I'm talking to you about in the upcoming show. So let's first look at what's been going on. I ended up in a creative slump. Yes, I did. But before that happened, let me set the scene. So it was 2013, and I have been a working photographer now for a good 7 years. I am pretty much established. I have a list of really good clients. I'm busy. I am comfortable with what I shoot. I go out all the time. I have shoots lined up. I have standing work. I have new work. I have a portfolio of clients. I get new clients. So I'm really, living it. I'm in my groove. And you would think that, everything is beautiful. I'm really busy. I shoot a lot. I have a lot of deadlines. I shoot a lot of corporate work. I shoot events. I shoot portraiture. I shoot a lot of, stuff that for advertising, etc. So there are a lot of deadlines. There's a lot of editing. In those days, it was mostly Photoshop that I worked with. So there was a lot of editing, a lot of post-processing that was involved on top of everything else. And if you're a freelancer, there's a lot of other things that you need to do. So I'm doing all of this 24/7. I'm living, breathing, eating photography. And you would think I'm as happy as Larry. And in a way, I actually, really am. I also, am really lucky to have upgraded to the latest and greatest in DSLR camera gear. I shoot on the latest full frame camera. I have all the pro lenses, everything you can think of. I shoot on fast zooms. I have professional primes. There's not really any lens that I have ever wished for that I don't have. I'm at this point where I'm like, if I want to shoot what I want to shoot, I need the gear. So I went out and I made sure that I have everything at my disposal. So what else could I need? What on earth went wrong? And, I don't think at the time I was aware of it, but it was definitely a creative slump. I could feel something was missing, but I didn't know what it was. I was, shooting a lot. My clients were happy with my work. I looked at my work and, apart from, constantly wanting to improve and to do new shoots or a different approach to certain things, people are happy with the results they're getting. And but all the photographs that I'm creating are work. They are photographs of beautiful venues, of executives, of beautiful brides, and etc., etc. But it's all work-related photography. So I'm starting to feel a little unfulfilled, happy with what I'm doing and with the work that I'm doing, but I feel like there's a hole in me opening somewhere. And it's, I'm thinking that I remember that I was visiting a friend, and he had this slideshow of photographs playing on his TV with all these beautiful moments of his everyday life or trips that he'd done, and just pretty photographs that were just wonderful to look at. And I was thinking, I don't think I have that. Why don't I have that? So this was really bubbling up in me, and I was trying to, create images. I was once in a while still, joining people to go on photo walks. But with the gear that I had, going into, central Johannesburg with a full frame DSLR with a fast prime lens on it, I don't know if you can imagine how bulky, let alone heavy, let alone expensive that gear was at the time. I just really didn't feel safe going out and shooting there anymore. So I did less and less of that until I, realized I wasn't shooting any photographs for myself anymore. And that left me really, really sad, and I knew there was something I needed to do. So I thought I needed to find a camera that, was just for me, for my personal work, so that I could go out and create, and it was something, small and easy to carry around with, but something that created really nice photographs. And a friend of mine had been looking into Fujifilm's camera range for a while, and he himself was shooting on an X100. And he said, you really should look into this new X100S that was brought out that year. And he, helped me look at it, and he explained, etc., etc. And so I realized that, I was going to give it a go. I thought there was, it looked pretty and seemed to, have all the technical specs that I was looking for. It had a fast, for those days, autofocus, very beautiful colors, and all the, specs that I thought I needed. And it was small and lightweight, and I could carry around with me everywhere. And yeah, so I did the slump, and jump out of the slump, and got this camera, and maybe had it for 4 weeks, 6 weeks at most, when we were planning a trip to Namibia. It was really, one of those bucket list trips. If you know Namibia, you think big sand dunes, beautiful landscapes, vibrant colors, you name it. So it's really a photographer's dream to go there. And we had planned this trip with a family, so there were a lot of us in cars with lots of luggage, etc., etc. And my husband, by that time, had also purchased himself an X100S, and we were both shooting on this camera together, but we hadn't shot with it a lot. However, he was very adamant that he was only taking this camera with him. He was perfectly all right with that. And I had to take a deep breath when he first shared that with me. I'm like, what do you mean? We're going into this beautiful place. And I'm thinking wide angle lenses and zooms and here and there with all the gear that I have, with the mindset that I have at the time. And then he's like, oh, so you want to climb up these dunes and get sand all over your gear and heavy lifting and sore shoulders, etc., etc. Just take this one camera. So, yeah. So I decided I was going to go with it. I was going to, take a leap of faith. But until we left that morning, I still had my camera bag packed, and it was there on the side. And I was like, maybe I can still sneak it in and nobody will see. Somewhere there's a hole in the boot somewhere where I could squeeze it in. But I didn't. So we just left off with this one little camera, and it felt very weird at the time. I wasn't used to not feeling carrying a lot of gear with me. And I thought, a little bit naked, unprepared, and worried that I was going to miss out on images that I was hoping to capture. But so we went around and we, went about and looked at all the beautiful places. And it really didn't take me long to be so grateful that I wasn't carrying around much gear, that I had a small little camera, that I was really being able to enjoy and experience this beauty of this country just with this one camera. This one camera and one lens, something that I spoke about last week as well. And it really challenged me to see with this fixed focal length of 23 millimeter, but it was exciting at the same time. So I, shot everything and anything and got really, was able to create images without any worries, and I felt so free. It was just an absolutely wonderful experience. And so when I then came back from this trip, I looked at some of the images and was really, really happy with what I'd been able to create. So I wanted to share a few images with you just to, set you in the mood, just to share with you what I was feeling. So when I'm standing here at the edge of the Fishery Canyon towards the end of our trip, I'm reminiscing and thinking back as to, how beautiful this trip has been and what a wonderful experience I had with this camera. So from these vibrant landscapes that are to be expected when you think of Namibia to, different kinds of shots that I was all of a sudden able to see again because I wasn't worried about anything but what my eye was seeing. So I started to create. I was looking at different angles and captured different scenes in a different way. And it just gave me such a wonderful feeling that I really enjoyed. And the more I used the camera, the more I think I used it and got all these beautiful images and just absolutely fell in love. I, couldn't stop creating. And for everyone who didn't know that Namibia also has a lot of water, it has a very long coastline, and visiting the ocean and capturing different scenes there was also absolutely magical. And the variety of images that I was able to capture is really what I got so excited about. I didn't think that with one camera and one lens you could do all of this. And whether you like the images or not is really beside the point. The fact is that I was able to capture all this, and I was able to experience this joy that I had. And after we'd, seen all these images, and my husband and I spoke about it, we also, shared it with friends. And then we decided, because all of us were shooting on X100 cameras, to create a project that we named X-Frame. We decided that we would share an image a week, just for the sake of sharing, just for sharing in photography, just for the joy of photography and to get us creating. So, and this project I will speak more about, and the images that we created and everything behind it on Friday's episode. And so I really want to leave it here, but wanted to share with you the backstory to it and share with you that it really was not easy to get back to this point, especially, having experienced the slump where when I started out in photography, I never thought I would have that feeling, and then being in that moment where you realize this passion for photography has really slipped out of your hands, and how are you going to get it back? And then going all the way to experience this joy of creating simple but nice images that you really look back. Today I look back on these images and I really enjoy them still, because they were, a reminder of such happy moments and times. So I hope that that gave you a bit of an insight and helps you. Maybe you can identify this with this yourself. So if you have any questions, you're more than welcome to ask me. If I can just ask you, if you do, to comment in the comment section, starting with the Q, so that when I see the comments, I understand that there is a question that you would like answered, so that it's a little bit easier for me while I'm online and live to see those questions. If you have questions after the fact and you're watching this as a recording, please feel free. Don't stop. I will definitely still answer your questions. I will be more than happy to. So reach out at any point and share in your journey. Like I said, the next show is on Friday, in which I will, take you on this journey of this project and share a little bit more about the beginnings, how we go about it, and what became of it. And I hope that you will join me again. If you wish, you are more than welcome to subscribe to my channel. If you like this, share it with others and tell them about these chats, and maybe they will also enjoy it. Tell them if there's a place they are looking for to ask questions and get answers. Send them my way. I'll be more than happy to help and share in everything and anything that I've experienced in my photographic journey. So I will see you again on Friday at 11 a.m. GMT+2 on this channel. I can't wait to see you again. You have yourself a beautiful day. Until Friday.